Japanese. Kilo 2 Alpha Oscar Echo. Well, hi folks, welcome to this episode of The Art of Engineering. This episode is going to be all about portable operation and the trials and the tribulations of that process. I went away for the weekend and the antenna I took away with me was the one that I took when I was operating portable in New Zealand. And I had made that length of wire a little bit shorter and I thought it had a good SWR in it. And I checked that SWR using the SWR bridge in the QMX. But what I didn't realize was that with the QMX, if you exceed the protection level that you've got set, in my case, I've set it to an SWR of 3 or above, the transmit switches off. So if you switch it into SWR mode and using the SWR bridge to check your SWR, because it's not actually transmitting, it'll tell you the SWR is really, really good, when in actual fact, it could be really good or really bad. We don't really know because it's not transmitting. It doesn't let you know that. That's a trick for new players. If you've got SWR Protect set up, make sure that you haven't transmitted before you go into the SWR bridge. Now, once you're in the SWR bridge, it'll accept high SWRs and you can test it at 10 and above SWR. It's not a problem. But as soon as you hit transmit before you go into the SWR bridge, if the damn flies, if the SWR is too high, it will go into protection mode and you have to reset that before going back into the SWR bridge, or you will get a false reading that says the SWR is fine. I think that's what happened when I was playing around with the settings for the antenna that I took to New Zealand. It was a slightly shorter length of wire. I just wanted to make things more manageable for myself because I was working single band. So I didn't think I needed a longer random length end fed. But as it turns out, I think the SWR was very close to 3. So I wasn't running a very efficient antenna, and that might be the reason why I didn't get a lot of QSOs while I was over there. But I did manage to work the mainland, and I did have a lot of fun. I know you forgot to ask, and in the last few videos I haven't asked, and that has resulted in 0 subscribers most of the time, especially initially. So if you could please reach down and hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. 7.3, and let's get back to the video. So the end-fed half wave I took with me to New Zealand was slightly shorter and it wasn't really well tested. And so I'm going to go back to the original wire antenna that I tested in the car and link to the video below where I worked a station in, I think it was Norway, from the car on about 4 watts, 20 meters. So the antenna was working. And I probably should have left best enough alone and just, worked with the antenna that I had. But I was just trying to make things a little bit more portable for myself. So I'm going to go back to the original antenna links, do a thorough test to make sure it tunes up on the bands that I'm interested in. And I want to get at least 3 or 4 bands that I know it'll work on. And I will also keep a record of which switches on the match unit that I'm switching in, so that I've got a good idea of where I need to set those switches as well. And I will write that on the back of the actual ATU so I know what I'm doing. All of this planning is essential, and that's why I'm so hopeless at this stuff, because I don't plan anything. It's all crazy and organic. As you might have observed when the smoke comes out of all the stuff that I'm working on.
Why they walk with the neck like that? This one a female.
Big Jagger. Well, we nearly got to work. Jean, Foxtrot 5, Mike X-ray in France. He said, weak, sorry, but unfortunately couldn't work me. Signal was too weak. So when we got home, we decided to set the antenna up, the portable antenna, and once and for all, get it working the way we need it to work, multi-band, So we know next time we go out in the field, we're not going to have any nasty surprises or frustration about not being able to get the SWR we need. Okay, folks, so there is the antenna. And I didn't want to show you all the frigging around because that would be peak levels of incompetence, but we've had to add a section. I'll show you that. And here is where I've had to add in a little bit of extra wire. And the reason for that is originally I went and did a lot of research on optimum length for random EdFeds. And then when I wanted to operate from the car, it just wasn't a convenient length. So I mucked around with it, and that was to my own detriment. So we've added a little bit more back in. We haven't been very scientific about it, but I'll show you what I've found out thus far. So we're set up here, and I just want to put a little AV 1000 watt meter in here to find out what's going on as well. And that is the hieroglyphics that I've come up with. And I will understand it, and you won't. But basically that means switch number 1 is to the center, and the rest are up. And then on 20 meter, 1 up, and the rest are up. And then 30 meters, 1 up is 2 down, and the rest are up. And then 80 meters, 1 is at center, and the rest are down, adding in more inductance, which kind of makes sense. Gives me a very marginal SWR on 80 meters. 17 meters all up. From memory, that's not a very good situation. The only one I'm having trouble with at the moment is 10 meters. So I'll just show you a few of those switch configurations, and I'll just show you what's happening on the actual trans match. That is my trans match. So you can see there, they're the switches. So if I want to tune 40 meters, it's 1 to the center because this is a 3-position switch, which allows me to switch in the inductor and a little bit more capacitance if I need it. So 1 is at center, and 40 meters, it says 1 is the center and the rest are up. So that should allow me to get a decent match on 40 meters. Now, what we can do is we can go to memory, hardware test, which is what we want. And then I'm going to click the menu button again. And that's going to say tune SWR. Now you've got a number of choices in here, but that's the one we want, tune SWR. So then I'm going to click it again. And that is the 40 meter band. Now if I click it again, we're going to get an SWR. And you can see there that we're putting out half power at about 1 watt. And it's giving me a 1.5, 1.6 is to 1 SWR. So a very usable SWR for this antenna. Happy with that. And for the 20 meter band, we've got 1 up, and I had to change this because it wasn't working. So this might be very, very dependent on the quality of the ground, how much stretch I have on the antenna, so many variables. So this is really only ballpark figures to see if I can actually get a tune on it, and may vary from location to location. I will find that out. See, this is the problem with portable operation. Nothing stays the same. But at the moment, we've got 1 up, 2 down, and the rest up. So I could just say 2 down, rest up, couldn't I? That's probably a better way of doing it. Let's go 2 down, rest up. And when we hit tune, we've got 1.7 is to 1. It's not a brilliant SWR, kind of getting there. So not a brilliant SWR, but usable. Now I recorded 30 as 1 up, 2 down, rest up, which is basically the same as 20 meters. I'm going to change that to 2 down, rest up. Let's have a look and see whether that actually does the job. So we go to 30 meters, 10 megahertz band, and let's have a look. 30 meters. We wind our capacitor back, and you can see that SWR coming down nicely. 1.5 is to 1. Once again, not optimal, but doing the job. We should be able to hit transmit. and we're unreflected at the moment, get our forward power. We're unreflected, get our forward. There we go. So that is all working. 80 meters. Can we tune 80 meters? I've said one center rest down, which makes sense kind of because that's what you'd be expecting. So let's get ourselves into our hardware test. Tune SWR. Let's go to 80 meters. There it is there. All these are down because that will give us a really high inductance because we want to load the antenna up because it's short. And I've said 80 meters, one is at center. So if we hit tune, coming down, so it's not optimal, but you can see there that it's below 3, so it's usable on 80 meters, which is nice to know. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the other bands, but there is one band, it even tunes on 6 meters, believe it or not. If we go all up and chuck the band switch over to 6 meters, hit tune, we've got a usable SWR. Who knows? It's going to be probably really, really inefficient. But it is tuning. And the only one that I'm really having trouble with is 10 meters. It's just, the bridge doesn't seem to want to work, which is quite strange. Although now it's working, it's making a liar of me. There you go. So all up, we'll tune our 10 meter band. Let's see how low we can get that. 1.3, 1.2. That's about the best SWR there. 1.3 is to 1. So I'm going to say 10 meters, like 6 meters, is all up. Well, I've sent the QRL, the question marks, and all that stuff. Frequency is not in use. And we're going to give it one more try. I've done a CQ already. It's Monday. Fans are very quiet, if not completely dead. So I'm going to send out one more CQ, and then we'll call it a day. And we'll just put the microphone near the radio so you can hear it. And that's my sidekick, Soxy, who is endlessly fascinated by antennas and occasionally decides to try and tangle himself up in them. And yes, I have given him the flea treatment, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Okay, folks, well, it's time to pack it down. And that attempt at a QSO was brought to you by the Navy Flameproof, which I absolutely butchered trying to fix, but it has become probably one of my favorite keys. Despite my best attempts to destroy it, it is sending beautifully, and I love it. And that's the battery charger for my portable battery. It's just sealed lead acid cell. And the power cable that I use to actually plug into the QMX has a couple of diodes in it to drop the voltage down, because when this is charged up, it's significantly higher than 12 volts. It's 13 something volts. So this drops us, these diodes drop us down to the voltage we need. And the charge cable's built in. So we just plug in the charger over here. And so when we come away from a portable operation, it's all about what I consider to be convenience. $17, $15. So there you have it, folks. And, you know, if I'm in the field and I want to tune at 80 meters, I'll just go one center, the rest down. So we know that this first switch has a center position. The rest of them are just double pole, double throw. This is a center off. So 80 meters, I'm going to say one center. So I'm going to switch that to the center, and the rest will be down. And if I want to go to 40 meters, I'm going to leave one in the center position because it says 41 center rest up, and the rest of these I'll switch up. So that may make things a little bit less haphazard in the field. Fingers crossed, it all behaves.
Well, if you're still here, it means you're one of the few people that actually sticks around right to the end of the video. You're one of those people that hasn't had their sense ratios eroded by Reels and Instagram and AI and all that daft stuff. Thank you for sticking around right to the end. I hope you've enjoyed this little foray into portable operation and the crazy way that I try to get it done. I hope also that it just shows you that things don't always work out. Sometimes you get on the air, sometimes you don't get on the air. The main thing is you give it a crack. Get out there, learn from your mistakes, maybe not learn from your mistakes, just have a good time. 7-3. And I shall see you in the next video. And there's going to be a few more videos because we're in the holidays at the moment. I have a bit of spare time. This arrived in the mail. More toys to show you. So please, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button so you'll find out what's in the parcel. Bye.